10 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the Shanghai Major American Qualifiers. It is our second game of the day, our first series, and boy, what a doozy. Started off a bit slow, but nonetheless, we get back into it. EWolves, the Peruvian squad, taking it 1-0 over Digital Chaos. Thank you so much for joining us here on twitch.tv/MontDota2. My name is Mont, the aforementioned one. I'm with Cart doing stats, and we've got Purge here as well. Seems good. How are you, man?
I heard your intro this time.
You did, man. I didn't screw up.
Perfectly timed. Sorry, everybody, for the. Well, you guys don't know this, but we took forever to load, and I didn't realize it was me.
No, they heard you, dude. They definitely heard you.
Well, I messed up.
It's okay. I think they'll forgive you, given the circumstances.
Dude, at least we didn't have to go back to the lobby. That would have been really embarrassing.
Dude, listen, if anything ever happens, just be like, I got to the semifinals of the major open qualifiers. I'm Veggie Esports Purge, all right? Back off. That's what I would say anyway.
Yeah, that's called arrogant.
Like, yeah, but you're allowed to be.
10 seconds.
I mean, maybe not, but whatever.
Really not.
No, you're really not. But that's okay. So we actually had a really good first game. It was a bit slow, like I talked about at the start. There are not many kills, but I think you mentioned it. The Iwo Morphling was ownage that game in more ways than one, and they go as far as to ban it out first phase. That's how you know you had a good game. You get a hero that has not really played that often banned out first phase against you. That's pretty damn solid.
I find that's like a little crazy. Like,
yeah.
I think it's a strong hero, and the guy played it really well. But I think DC just did have the counters in their pool, and heroes that they had. They needed something that scales, that can do tons of single target damage, and that's not Luna. Basically, Luna's like a team fighty AOE-ish based carry that needs BKB. But if they had, not that PA is a good hero, but PA is a good example. You jump on him and you hit him until he dies, and it doesn't matter if he's reducing his armor, because you're like, oh, that's fine, I'll hit you harder.
Yeah.
But they just didn't have the heroes. Like, Witch Doctor could do as much damage to Morphling as he could turn into strength. So it was like Witch Doctor did nothing. They would basically do a lot of magic nukes or a single target carry, and they just didn't have. That's why they lost, I think.
And they could go for another armor-ish type of strat, or you know, heroes that can't right-click the person, and that's Sven. I mean, Sven is also very strong, and EWolves have played it, but they played it in the mid lane, and it looks like Van will pick up the Invoker, which is a hero I actually haven't seen them play, which is interesting. They've played everything other than the Invoker. Digital Chaos will pick up the Beastmaster, which Smash played a ton in the off lane, in the open qualifiers, but this time it'll probably be Bulba's pickup here. I do want to point out, I always talk about Viper and how much I love that hero, but I actually also really enjoy Luna. She's also one of my other favorite heroes, but she's just, I wish she was better. She's good, but she's not great. You know, I just wish she was better.
Yeah, she's not an amazing carry for a lot of the reasons that you saw in the last game. You have to get BKB first. You can't very well farm by yourself. You're not very safe to do so, because any 3 heroes can usually kill you, and they can make it hard enough for you even turn around to get kills. Like, Eclipse just comes out a bit too late. There's just so many safer carry picks that you can have.
This hero is ownage, at least that's what people tell me, and I've played it once or twice, and it's done a lot of work. The Outworld Devour with the new changes, you get that Max Arcane Orb, and all of a sudden you're stealing a ton of intelligence, you're doing a lot of damage, and the Essence Aura also very good for your team. The W button, Astral Imprisonment, I've seen it leveled up, I've seen it not leveled up, I've seen it do a lot of work. This hero, to me, is strong, but it doesn't have the best farming potential. You'll often see Midas is picked up for the Outworld Devourer, so what do you feel about OD right now, Purge?
I think he's very good. I think it's their response to Invoker. You can combo it very well. Like, if you get a support Mirana or something like that, then you have your setup by having an OD mid, and then you can randomly have Mirana show up, you can Astral and do an arrow. Things like that are very good. People did that versus us. There's a counter with Invoker in that he can make a and try to block wherever the arrow comes from. it's definitely something that's a little scary. And it's scaling into the late game. OD's just very strong right now. The amount of damage you do is very high. Your ultimate occasionally with a bunch of int boost, and boom, it's damage. So it's also very good against Dazzle, actually, is another thing it's good against. Because if somebody gets graved, you wait a second, and you just Astral them. And if they're below 225 HP and they don't have magic resistance, they're dead. They just... So it's actually a really good counter against.
I saw that yesterday. I'm not sure if it was your team or another squad that was playing the OD. Did you play OD yesterday?
Well, we did draft it a few times. Ben played it some games. I think Ben played it some games. So it's a solid pick. It's pretty good at laning right now.
Oh, and you put him in safe lane. That's right. I forgot about that.
We did that a few times. I think Ben played him maybe twice. But it's just OD's quite good right now, and you can never underestimate that Sensor as well, giving your team mana. So you can even combo them. The one combo I thought of was Skywrath Mage with OD, and if your Skywrath does well, like AOI usually does on Skywrath, you can potentially get an Ags early as like a second item, and then ulti like 3 times in a row on somebody. Like 1,000 magic damage.
That's gross. Just to think about that. But that'd actually be pretty cool. I would not mind seeing that. Either way. 40 seconds left to reserve time for EWolves, the last ban coming out. So they banned out a couple of EWolves heroes, which of course the Phantom Lancer he played yesterday, the Lone Druid he's played yesterday as well. Gyrocopter is something that EWolves like to play a lot as well, and I think EWolves hero pool is actually quite big. He's played a lot from what I've seen, so we'll see what they grab here. I mean, there's still a lot of good carry heroes in the pool, so there's definitely a couple of options. Maybe a Razor's picked up, like we saw that from Ben yesterday as well. Razor seems to be still very strong. I'm not sure if it's good in this particular game. It might be okay.
It's decent against OD 1v1 because he can't Astral without getting nuked, but he doesn't really spam it like he used to, so it's probably not as good of a counter.
5 seconds
and they're gonna want to invoke. So you're talking about Razor EWolves, right?
Yes.
Reserve.
No, you're correct.
I think it's not amazing. It's okay against Beastmaster because you can kill his creeps pretty easy with your static, whatever the heck it's called. Mirana is picked by EWolves. I feel like this is some of a counter pick here because they knew that DC was going to get a Mirana if they didn't draft it, and it would give them too good of a setup with OD. So it's actually a pretty nasty pick for EWolves. If they can make this work, it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of faith in their play.
So Sia, aka Mystico, which I've been told is actually Mystico, will probably play the Dazzle. Mirana will be roaming support for Masoku. He's played it a lot. Masoku also plays the Dazzle too, so it's interesting to see how they're going to lane this up and who's going to play what. Like you said, it's probably a counter pick. Digital Chaos could have gone for the OD and had a OD Mirana setup. There's still a couple of other good heroes that you could pair up with the Outworld Devour. Mirana's not necessarily, one of the heroes that you absolutely need to have. If you had to pick a carry hero though for EWolves, off the top of your head, what would you throw out? Just give me something. What would you pick?
I don't know, man. That's a really hard ass question that
You're on the spot. Yeah, I did. My bad.
Not quite sure. What you kind of need a BKB carry because it'll be good against Outworld Devourer, but Beastmaster counters that, so that part's a little bit. But you also have a Dazzle, so that's kind of nice. Something that does minus armor might be nice because of having Dazzle.
Okay.
You don't have to go for that. Stable would be nice because right now they have no setups for Hero. Maybe something like Wraith King, but you don't want to. No, that'd be dangerous because if he gets his int stolen by OD, he could just not have mana for ult. So I wouldn't want a Wraith King either.
I'm gonna have to pull up the Dota 2 wiki and just see what heroes are available.
It would really help to see the hero list.
Right? Yeah, that's why I have my second monitor. I keep forgetting to do that before each game. I'm going to pull up the hero listing. Maybe you should do the same here. Let's see what we can find. Minus armor and a disable would be nice, like you mentioned. Maybe they go for Weaver, which I will played yesterday. Actually, Smash played the Weaver yesterday. I'm not sure that's the hero. They've played Ursa for EWO.
Not anymore. Now that there's a Disruptor. Weaver versus Disruptor, Beast, and OD is like
that seems bad.
Too much.
That seems really bad.
Yeah, if you dusted him and he's Sakuchi, just hit him with Astral and then kill him right after because he loses Sakuchi duration. There's way too many. Otherwise, I think Weaver would have been.
What do you think about TA mid Invoker safe lane? Is TA that bad of a matchup against OD, or is it actually that terrible?
I actually don't really know how that matchup goes, but I feel like OD is probably fine in that matchup. His armor's relatively high. He can banish TA if TA goes on him. I don't think it's that bad for OD at all.
Carry Revenge. I don't know, dude. I'm just throwing things out at this point. I would not mind seeing CK actually. He has both of those things, a disable and armor reduction with his crit. Not to say that that's really the best pickup, but the Gopher Viper instead, which is a tried and true OD counter, one of the two out there. between, well, he's one of, I mean, I've seen him the most back in the day. It used to be Viper versus OD all the time. He's pretty, you don't have to worry about you losing your intelligence. You just go Nether Toxin. You just right-click the crap out of OD. So,
because that's right, because you lose your in. Yeah, you're totally. Forgot about that. And Viper is just all around a really strong 1v1 hero. He's pretty much one of the most consistently picked mid heroes. Whenever like a hero gets too overpowered in the mid lane, people are like, all right, we have to start picking Viper again.
5 seconds
What happens?
remaining.
Pretty good against Beastmaster. Is going to be able to reflect a lot of damage. Doesn't worry about Disruptor really. I like the Viper pick. He may be forced to get a BKB at some point because the pure damage is going to eat through him. It's a hard counter to Viper. But if he does get BKB, he's going to be.
That's true. Evan did play the Viper, or the Elite. He played the Viper on Elite Wolves a couple of times. He played it yesterday, I believe, going up against Atun on Unknown Squad. So we'll see if they decide. This is the funny thing. Now they have an Invoker and Viper, both mid laners.
Radiant team
Oh, God. This is a hero that you guys saw yesterday. Oh, boy. Yeah, that was a rough game to watch, dude.
It's really good against Viper as well. Basically, any hero that is fairly tanky, either in high armor or high HP, Enchantress is very good against them.
Get that pure damage out there.
Yeah, and it does pure damage from very far away. Elite Wolves are really lacking dispels. They don't have that many magic nukes. They got some, but not amazing amounts. It means that if Enchantress just has a good game, like, you can just ruin the whole... You can ruin their lives, basically. What happened yesterday.
Yeah. We'll see where they send the Enchantress. It probably is going to be in the jungles and the Beastmaster offlane. Disruptor will be the primary 5 support. Outworld Devour will be played in the mid lane. And I mean, you could safe lane the Enchantress like what Unknown did yesterday, but I'm not sure that's going to be the case. I think it's more likely that like AUI probably played. I guess who's the jungler here? Is it Theban or AUI? I don't know.
It's definitely AUI.
Okay.
He used to play Chen for Cloud9, so I'm sure it'll be him.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Sven is banned out, which is another one of those Elite Wolves heroes that we talked about. I guess this could be like an offlane Invoker, kind of. I don't know, dude. I don't know how they're going to land this. We have to wait for the last pick to come out for Elite Wolves.
Well, it's entirely plausible that, yeah, I guess you're right. And safe lane Invoker is more likely, and I don't think that's that terrible to do either, because you're just going to get a minus anyway, so that'd be my call as well.
All right, the last pick coming. Elite Wolves will they grab Bristleback, and he will probably be the offlaner. Actually, I don't know, because I've seen EWolves play this Bristleback as well. It's like, I have no idea where they're going to land this. I'm very confused.
I actually like Bristle versus Enchant. I think it's a good solution. And versus OD as well, because the Bristleback will actually reduce damage from pure, because it doesn't care what type of damage you're taking.
Right, it's just damage
reduces
block.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's not damage block. You shouldn't say that, because that gets confused with the mechanics.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It should be an option versus Enchantress. Plus you do physical damage. Plus you can reduce her armor, and Enchantress's armor is actually really low. So Bristle may be a good solution versus Enchant, and maybe he'll get something like a Blade Mail to reflect OD and Enchant damage. But I'm not sure. We'll see.
All right, Jugs picked up. That's their safe laner. Will be the Enchant and the jungle, by the way. And this is kind of interesting. I guess it's good against the Viper. It's all physical. So Viper, the corrosive skin will not help him there. I think it doesn't get... How does that work with the damage reduction from Bristleback? Does it go through? Does Omni Slash go through it? I'm not sure.
The way that the slashes work is that the first slash is at the front of the unit, and the second slash is at the back of the unit.
Okay.
And the back will get reduced. Will not get reduced.
I
so
see.
It's decent against Bristle, but not amazing.
Right. All right, well, that's fair. TC, I think he just feels comfortable playing this year, and why not? This is a very strong carry right now. I'm surprised that Jugs aren't picked up more commonly. This is one of those easy heroes to play in a pub game. It's very strong. They didn't really nerf it. It's always been pretty good. You could go numerous amount of builds. If there's going to be an Orchid picked up for the Invoker, you can always pick up a Manta Style. SMY is pretty common. Phase Treads. There's a lot of options here. I've seen Phase Drums, which is very strong as well. So I think it's just a solid pickup and comfortable for DC. We'll see how it goes, but so Ewo is going to play the Berserk, by the way. Smash is playing the offlane Invoker, which is interesting. But they'll probably have a dual lane up there, like Invoker and maybe the Dazzle. But then again, it is a roaming Mirana, so I actually have no idea.
The lanes could really go all over the place, and it also might come down to mind games, like where one team expects the other team to be and things like that. So it's going to be a crazy game, and it'll be fun to see how they try their strats. And I also want to see just how greedy AOI gets, because when we played against the Enchantress yesterday, it was actually a carry Enchantress, but he can probably play from the jungle as well and do that fast, like Preds or Drums into Dragon Lance.
Yep. And that was something that they actually went phase last game, the game that you guys played against them, so they could
Yeah,
definitely do phase
I thought that
turn
was
two.
really good. I like that idea, especially because if you cast a spell now, it doesn't cancel the phase. So you can just chase like drums and phase. You're really fast. Plus drum gives you
Yes.
25 attack speed now, so it's like you have treads plus a drum just by treads and phase instead of having phase. I like that build.
Yeah, I agreed. I like phase on a lot of heroes now. I've always liked phase on Viper, but it's really picked up because tread's good for making you tanky. It's very good for getting a mech. I don't know, but look at the G call going. There's already a couple of drawings here in the jungle. They drawed like this or something like that just to make sure. They said, okay, well, we'll get to the jungle when we stopping them from putting ward down. No TP's coming out except for Mystico. He's gonna head mid and he's gonna put an observe ward down, maybe on the high ground here. We'll have to wait and see. He's gonna put it somewhere. But so far, just him out, and I don't know. How do you feel about the off-lane invoker? What's the dealio here?
I guess it's not as bad as level 1, but it's not a good idea usually. You have extremely low movement speed at 280. He's got a null talisman, I guess, but his base damage is low, his armor is low. He can't trade very well with off-lane heroes. It's as a whole a bad thing. On the right side, he's only against a single support. So until the Enchantress rotates for ganks, he's only got to deal with one hero. If it was 3, I'd be like, this is really dumb. He might be able to get away with it. It's just the disruptor.
I think the AOI will rotate early. At least that's what I believe. Let's see. Viper is actually the most common purchaser of Dragonlance so far in 6.86 with 8 games in total. I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan.
To me. Like Viper is a hero that's effective because he's applying a slow on heroes during a fight. Like it's not because he right clicks hard, you know. So if he can now apply poison attack to everybody during his fight, he's doing an extra 26 damage per second to every hero, and he's reducing attack speed. That has some value in it.
I would rather get movement speed than range, and
that's fair.
I mean, I don't know. I guess it's kind of the same. It doesn't really matter. I've tried Dragonlance before on this year. I didn't have a particularly good game with it. Maybe that's just me. It doesn't give you the most damage, and I guess you could build it later. You don't have to build it first. I think that's maybe the mistake I went.
Yeah,
so.
I wouldn't do it. He's gonna have to get a Manta style this game 100% because he has to deal with Omni Slash basically. Probably go Manta this game. Maybe stat heavy. Doesn't usually work out too well. So if I was gonna say get a movement speed item, I would go S and Y.
Yeah. The average purchase time is around 17 minutes, so yeah, there you go. Already, right click's being used. Astral get thrown up. He'll get a last hit or two here in the meantime. He's got a salve buried out as well, so we'll see how this lane goes for him. As the game progresses, Van will have a better time because of Nether Toxin. Arrow's gonna come in, and it's gonna hit Yelwar. That's a kill, easily. Nicely done. He actually, uphill miss. He's got a salve. He's got a fairy fire as well. He's getting body blocked. He's got Astral in 2. He can Astral up himself.
Oh,
no,
he
decided against it. Could have turned around and go on Van, but decided not to. Great arrow from Hisoku already.
That's real. Oh, well, at least AOI broke the salve, but it was pretty unfortunate that he got killed there because the Enchantress was shifting over, and with the support, they could have set up a kill maybe on the Viper.
So that's a great start already coming out for the Viper here. Any help you can get a bit of extra experience going your way. The Nether Toxin will come through. It'll start really doing a lot of damage and be able to get a couple of last hits a little bit easier. His Akil will fly out pretty soon. He's not going to go for a bottle. That's rarely picked up for Viper. It'll probably be Aquila, Wand, and then whatever boots he wants to get. Maybe picks up brown boots into mech. So there's the Aquila now done. This is actually going to get tougher and tougher as the game progresses. I'm not sure how much farm Yalwar is going to get.
Okay, and they're actually doing an aggressive dual lane with the Invoker. So this works out pretty nicely then. Bristol can solo find versus a Beastmaster. In fact, we excel at it. And then they can just move the pot around to wherever they need to, and it can be safer due to having a Dazzle here. I really like the laning of EWolves this game, I think.
Yeah, TC is now sitting only at 2 last hits. The Bristleback down bottom sitting at 7, and the Invoker top is at 3. EWolves getting off to a fast start, especially with that kill. EY is up to 10 last hits, unsurprisingly. I mean, and he's already going to go for a smoke. He's sitting at level 2, and he's going to look for something. Mirana's going to send some illusions mid. That won't break the smoke. If Misoku walks up, that will. And there it is. He thinks that's the real one. Arrow will just miss the tail of AUI. Gonna try to kill this illusion. I'll take one down.
He's trying to kill one of the creeps because the arrow does one-shot neutrals.
Oh, right. Good point.
Decent Enchantress and...
I forgot about that. Yeah, that is very strong.
It's kind of needed, honestly, because previously it was just way too good to play Chen or Enchantress against the bottom because you could block arrows with it. It was like just... So I think it's a nice buff to Mirana. Especially roaming Mirana.
Smash sitting at 5 last hits, the Jug sitting at 4. This top lane, Smash is just denying the heck out of him. He's got 5 denies currently. So TC is not having the best game so far. And this is a problem. Like, you want to have, like, a lot of farm on this Jug. I mean, a couple kills would be nice, some decent CS, but he doesn't have that at all. So I'm not sure. This Smash is doing really well, even with just, you know, Quas up. He's gonna pop the Alacrity and try to continue to deny. We'll have to see how this game continues.
Bristleback's doing really well in his lane as well. He's gotten quite a few last hits off on Boba and getting his warrior kills and stuff like that. It's only got so much HP. You can definitely nuke that down very easily.
Yeah, especially with close sprays and whatnot. You are sitting at how many last hits? 7. The Viper has 14. So it looks like they're winning pretty much all 3 lanes at this point. The only thing they're not winning is the jungle. But I'm not sure if that's going to be the saving grace for Digital Chaos. What a turn this would be if EWolves took this series 2-0. Cold Snap will fly. TC does have his Blade Fury. It's not really doing that much damage. I don't think he wants to use it. Another hit will go. He'll pop up a Tango and then eat it very quickly. The tree comes out. Still, no last hits for him.
Where things get good for DC though, because now he's doing pure damage to Viper. He's got 3 points in Essence Aura, so he's going to be refilling a lot of his mana pool whenever he does proc, and Viper's got to be really careful now. If he gets a little out of position, gank comes, they can definitely...
Viper is backed up. He's actually in the jungle now. He's got a Tango, he's got a Fairy Fire. Yeah, the Tornado is too difficult to deal with. I like it, and it doesn't require that much coming out from AUI. He just throws up a Wild Wing mid. He just throws up the Tornado. It's on 30 seconds cooldown now, but still did a lot of work for what he needed.
One of the best creeps to grab when you're an Enchanter. AUI sitting at level 4 now, so he's last hitting fairly well. He's for untouchable build. Nothing too unusual there, especially against a Viper and a Bristle and an Invoker. You definitely need to reduce their attack speed.
This game feels really hard for DC right now. I might be wrong about that, but they're not really doing anything.
It looked pretty scary at first, but I think they're doing all right now. If you look at the last hit total, they've got the top. They have 4 out of the top 6 right now, so they're doing a lot better.
I was a bit concerned about Smash doing as well as he was in this lane.
Yeah, like Smash is definitely doing pretty well. And actually, all 3 cores of EWolves are actually doing quite well.
Is he caught? Is he gonna die here? Glimpse back. Oh wow, great glimpse from 1437. He'll Raven TP out, and he actually attacked. He stopped.
What?
Why did he stop? See it? No, Mystico. Oh, that's a free kill that you did not need to give away.
Like he used his mango or something. What happened?
I don't know.
He must have pressed the wrong hotkey or something. Because
that's an XD moment. That's a moment you just gotta laugh and be like, well, that sucks.
He was completely set up for that. They don't have that many stuns on DC, actually. It's basically just Glimpse and Roar, and that's about it. So,
yep.
Got wrecked from that one. And there's another Wildkin now on Enchantress, so I see that goes on.
Smoke of Deceit, Gang, Van, and Masoku leading the way. They're going to maybe go for a Viper Strike into an arrow combo. They realize this. Astral is himself, but that only sets him up for the arrow, and Masoku's just waiting. He missed it!
He misses it.
He missed the arrow!
I mean, they weren't going to get that kill anyways, honestly. Like, dodged 4 seconds of Viper Strike. That ability does like 300 damage over 5, so he blocked like 200 magic damage there just by banishing himself. It's a pretty easy survive there. Even if he did get arrowed, he was going to live.
Well, that's pretty nice. That's a waste of time for Masoku. Top lane TC now up to 16 last hits. Smash still doing a little bit better. That's the biggest issue. I guess CC got the assist. Oh, he didn't even get the assist for that kill. It's 0-0 and 0 apparently. I'm not sure if he was in range for the gold or not, but either way, that's a bit unfortunate. Masoku's gonna arrow a creep here probably. He's got an invis run. Maybe he's gonna set up something mid. I'm not sure.
Kill Smasher maybe. Do they have detection?
Oh, yeah, they do. There's the Blade Fury. They've got the grave. They'll get it off in time, and they get a great ice wall. Last right click will not go. Smash will survive. Now the TP's coming in. This will be from the Bristleback. This is trouble. They've got Omni Slash. Kinetic Field will fly, and they will be able to get out, it looks like. And then Enchant goes through as well. They really could have got Smash. Now mid lane, Misoku's in trouble. Yuar turns it on, gets a double with the hammer. He drops it, baby. Huge kill.
Yep, that's OD, man. He's scary now. You have to be very careful with the fact that you get int and you get pure damage out of it is amazing. Bristol gets a disruptor kill on the other side. Was that your XD or something?
That was my XD.
What happened?
I don't. I just missed the kill. That's why I said XD. It's not like a BM XD. Don't worry, man. I'm not that kind of guy.
I just thought something like really stupid happened or something.
Oh, no.
So you XD'd like the canceling your own TP when you're about to live.
I should have wrote XD there. That would have been an XD move. That's not what happened. Boba getting cold snap bottom. Smash is gonna walk up. Only has Wex up, so he's not doing that much damage. Another boar is gonna come through. Okay, so now is having a great time, but still, TC in the top lane is not really getting much done with only 20 last hits. He's got only his boots. He does have a magic stick and a poor man's shield, and so he's in a bad position now. And he's walked through the super ward, so they know where he's going.
Structures are fortified.
Kind of rough game, but they're going to get a guaranteed kill in the bot lane, whoever's here. Once Boba hits 6, he just needs a little bit more damage and somebody dies, and that's pretty straightforward.
Comes back, here comes the roar. They're gonna fly out. They've got the board to slow him down. Kinetic field will fly, and he might be able to ghost walk away. But the cold snap almost doing enough damage to kill. Well, not really. And they get the kill with Boba. That's some extra experience and gold going his way. Now he's getting up towards that Necromastery. But meanwhile, top lane, they'll take this tier 1 tower, and it'll be Evo leading the charge, looking for maybe an early Vanguard here into Crimson.
Yeah, they have to be really careful of Bristol this game. He's already in a big advantage, and he's going to go a little bit crazy, I think, if he gets a couple more kills. Bristol is definitely one of the scariest heroes to play against in mid game if he has a good early game, and he's definitely.
Yeah, Tread's already up. We already talked about the Vanguard coming out. He's got this stout shield as well, and I think he almost has the Vitality booster coming out. So they'll trade actually tier 1 towers, which I think is pretty good for DC, all things considered. Net worth wise, it is a 750 net worth advantage, which is pretty much nothing at this point. Experience wise, it is a 3k experience lead, almost all of that coming from the Enchantress in the jungle, who's almost level 6 and has 1,000 gold in the bank. Oh, they're going to Roche.
So much, and the fact that there was a bottom is one big difference. If OD runs out of mana here, this could really hurt them.
Sub 10-minute Roche coming out. We'll see if he does. He's doing fine for now. He doesn't have a bottle. They'll get a Necro Book. They'll pop that up. The Vanguard's done.
Nice.
Everyone's going to rotate out. They'll give TC some farm back up here in top lane. Picks up an Iron Talon for himself. And
It's
this
a cool
is Roche.
early rotation.
Yeah, before 10 minutes. Damn.
Small mistake on Boba for keeping 3 creeps in, but they have big damage on OD. They've got attack speed from the Beastmaster, and they've got a third hero just there. And they have all these creeps to tank. That was really, really smart by DC. It's a Roche that people just don't predict. Like the obvious ones, so yeah, TA, whatever, Lycan. But when you have weird combinations like this, it's pretty amazing. And they showed Enchantress mid the Lamb, so the obvious like, oh, Enchant reduces damage with Untouchable strat, it wasn't there. So definitely a little bit of unpredictable Roche. Nicely done by DC.
Yeah, that was real smart. That gets them a big gold advantage as well. Back down to 2,000 bottom lane. Might get caught out there. The Ghost Walk. He's going to try to get his way out of here. He does have the Aegis. Smash has Cold Snap. No. 12 seconds hit. He doesn't have his Invoke up ready to go. So they're even rotating around with Iwo, but he's not going to make it in time. His Vanguard is done like we talked about. Double damage rune top rune spot. That could be interesting. Comes in mid, throws up the Astral onto, I think, the Dazzle? No, ban on the Viper. He's got Viper Strike. The arrow's going to come in. It actually hits a creep. Now they use the Sandy's Eclipse to right click, but he can't get there in time. Too slow. And now will have to get away. He does have that Aegis still, but I don't think he wants to use it for free. They pop up Nature's Attendants and almost getting that kill on the Viper, and now he has to head back home.
Man, OD looks so strong right now.
It really does.
He's like, I don't think OD loses Viper like he used to.
No,
it just
definitely
doesn't
not.
seem. It's too good. Astral is just you only put 1 skill point in it and it protects you against so much. It's 4 seconds of duration. If Viper ever puts you in a dangerous situation, you just banish and walk.
I think a lot of people were super surprised when they didn't change the jail duration. He was gonna walk through. Ooh, it was almost bad. They could maybe just glimpse it back.
If OD does turn out to be too OP, they might have to reduce it to scaling something like 2 to 4 seconds. Scaling up.
Yeah, I think so. He's very strong right now. Ewo's still running at War, as well as 1437, but he's being a bit callous. He's only sitting at half health. I mean, he's got a Vanguard, sure, but it's not like he's the tankiest guy in the world. TC will have his face here. He's already got his Aquila, and he's just trying to get back into the game. He's at halfway in net worth. He's actually ahead of Smash, surprisingly enough, after the early stages of this game. What does Enchantress have? AUI has Treads now, and we'll see if he decides to get that Dragonlance or Drums or whatever next.
Yeah, he's focusing a lot more on the old school Enchantress, which is just ganking and creating pressure on the map, and he's done a good job with that.
What do you think about Mech? Do you think he's going to go for it?
I just think Mech is a super outdated build on Enchant. I don't think it's worth if you use Mech, especially because Mech is so much more expensive now. It costs 225 mana. That's like 4 lances. Like you could throw 4 ultimates with that, and your mana pool is not that big. I don't think you can afford to do that. I think you just go for Dragonlance or Drum, or both, and then transition into X.
They don't really have a mech carrier besides AUI, but like you mentioned, very outdated build. So mech will not be an option, whereas the Viper should be getting his. He actually has 1.8k gold. I'm not sure what the Viper's setting up for. Maybe not with mech.
They could maybe do it on OD. I don't think it'd be terrible this game, because the damage potential on EWolves is a little bit low. If he goes mech, it'll give him more armor against Bristle, and maybe some They don't have a TP. They're gonna have to defend him.
Top lane. TC got the tower. Bottom lane, they shot an arrow through it. It just goes awry completely. They've left EWO up here, and then they TP Jug back to mid. And so they can keep going down to this bottom 2-2 tower. In fact, the Force will come out. He doesn't have the Sanities for 16 seconds. The Roar could come through, smash the triple. They get the dust off. That was a really good tornado. They'll Roar actually up on the Mystico, so the Grave will not be available. They'll get the tier 2 tower on top of it. Arrow is going to hit a creep. So the Necro Archer. Yawar walks right next to Masuku, who just leaps down to the low ground. On the other side, they're looking for Van. Glimpse back is available. They'll pop it up. They've got the Static Storm, and they'll find him. They'll try to right-click down, but it's not going to work, and that's going to be a lot of gold going the way of not only TC, but 1437 as well, and AUI's nearby. They even drop the Sanities Eclipse here in the mid-lane smash. So low! Last right-click will do the job, and Yawar will get a killing spree off this. Still has that Aegis for another minute or two. Pops the Fairy Fire. Ewo chasing after him. Boba's got a body block. Glimpse back in. Beautifully done from 1437, and Yawar will not even lose that Aegis. A far cry of what DC looked like last game. They're firing on all cylinders right now, Purge.
Yeah, I think their strategy this game is just a lot better than what EWolves was. Like, the laning stage went really well for EWolves, but eventually the OD just overpowers the Viper, and then EWolves is sitting around with a really good player playing Viper. And the only hero that's still doing well is actually Bristleback. So if you play the offlane Invoker, it just doesn't scale. It's not transitioning as well. Like, yeah, he's got some spells, but it can't turn it into ganks because their other supports are Dazzle, Pot him who's level 4. Like, yeah, Invoker needs to get ganks off or he needs to team fight, and EWolves do that very well compared to the picks that DC has.
They will have a mech really or very soon. He's only a couple hundred gold away from it. I do agree with you though. I feel like that maybe it comes down to that Pond pick when you're trying to deny it away from DC. Aegis was used, by the way. I think he actually just used it on an ancient stack, which is fine. Boba has Roar. For something, Arrow's gonna go, it's gonna miss, it's gonna hit on a creep instead. Bulba really wants Fundy here, he's gonna look for Sia. Roar comes out, the Astral at the same time. Masuku leaps away, but this gets destroyed by Yawar's right click. Smash is still alive, there's the kinetic field, Van caught out, as well as Ewo. This is gonna be disastrous. They'll lose one, will they lose the second here? Ewo getting chased down, the Boar slowing him up, the Omni slash and Jug is like, give me that kill. And T gets it done. Surgical indeed, still looking for Smash. Smash will make it back home. Will the Dazzle be so lucky? The answer to that question is absolutely not. He'll go down. He'll shadow away himself. And that's a double kill for the Jug, who's back in the game now with 2.8k gold after having a, I wouldn't say disaster start, but it wasn't the best either. They'll pop the healing ward. They're going to go for the tier 2 tower, and that should be pretty free.
DC's just playing really well this game. That's pretty much every person on their team has played their roles correctly and is scaling correctly, and especially standout performance from Yawar. I think he really recovered really well and took the game over a strong hero. So, and TC as well, like he played from behind all game, but was able to not die and now transition into team fighting. Like they're just all playing so safe.
They're going to grab another tower as well. There's only 2 kills for Elite Wolves. How do you get back into this? Maybe the Viper mech will do a job, but he doesn't even have it yet. And Mystico has got to choose wisely with who he makes. I just think at this point, I think Udi is actually too strong right now. He's going to have what seems to be an Orchid as he has an Oblivion staff. So, yeah.
Well, I don't know, man. It's his EMP is pretty much worthless against OD. In fact, it's actually kind of worthless against all of DC. You drain them, and if they cast a spell by OD, they get their mana back. Like, this is, like going Quaswex, I think is not the solution here. But he couldn't go Exhort because he was playing offlane, and then he'd be like, "Well, I have these weak ass Sunstrikes to maybe help with," but that doesn't do either.
No.
Like, I feel like he had to go Exhort maybe.
He was going to get roared up. There's going to be the Necro Archer draining the mana. Static Storm only zones out, doesn't actually hit anybody. They will get the tower, but Ewo might die for this. Sunstrike, or rather Cold Snap, will go through. See, actually Fairies Fires. They'll actually bring Ewo back, who's going to chase up to 1437. This fight's actually not terrible for EWolves. I mean, they might lose Ewo here if they're lucky. He'll survive, but they have the Hawk up. They're going to have Vision. They have Enchant ready to go if they can get in range. She doesn't have a TP scroll. I mean, he should die here, theoretically. They have Glimpse up and ready to go. There's the Enchant fly through.
It's only 20%.
Uh-oh. I don't know if they want to go high ground here. They might get more. They'll find Evo for sure. Tornado EMP, trying to zone everybody out. Viper will be the second one back. The pop drum charge. They're coming through the side.
Okay,
Arrow's going to sail and it's going to hit. And they'll actually glimpse back Van. He will go ahead and TP away and he'll make it out. Luckily enough for him. They're just I mean, Dazzle's like, I have to go in some direction. He actually might make it out here. Yep. Wow.
All right, that was nice.
That went actually way better than it should have. They lost Evo. They got the tier 1 tower.
Radiant's top
I guess
tower
that's
is
okay.
under attack.
I mean, them putting the losses isn't going to win them the game, though. Like,
No,
while
very
they
true.
did a great job not dying very much there, it's just not looking amazing. Mech is going to be up soon, though, and Viper, he'll be able to get a next wave, and that'll help, but they just don't have a good way to stop all this pure damage set. DC's thrown out. That's basically what this game is. DC is throwing out the Peerage, and the only way to stop that is BKBs, really. And it doesn't even stop the enchant from doing damage.
You're right. It will stop the OD being as effective, but I mean, at this point, BKB is it's a dream, really. Fever dream. There's no way you're getting to that anytime soon. Orchid is now done for the Outworld Devourer, so not only do they have plenty of damage, he has a silence as well with some extra amp damage coming through just to cap things off. God damn, 2 kills coming up for EWolves. They're not very happy about how this game's going. They're down 12,000 in net worth at 18 minutes. Another roast will be up here soon. It's actually about to spawn up, and they can easily take this.
On the bright side, there is a pretty big Ancient stack here, so Bristleback can get some levels here and maybe pot him as well. They would really love to have pot him 6 at least, because then they could go invisible. Like, right now they have 2 supports that basically have 1 spell that are useful. They've got an arrow and they've got a grave, and that's it. And that's part of the reason they're getting stomped so hard in teams. They don't have disables. If they just had a couple of guns, they could actually initiate on OD and try to kill him first, but they don't even have that.
Yeah, you kind of have to rely on an arrow, and that's not even guaranteed at this point. Misoko hit a couple of good ones at the beginning of the game, but it's really not going that well. The Ancient Stack is here. DC smoke right next to it. There might have been an Observer Ward scouting them out. Misoku, he'll break it with his Invis Rune, which he'll about to run out, but they'll see the stack here, and I think they're more than happy with just taking it if you're DC. There's going to be the arrow. Yep, they get the Orchid off. He can't get out. They're going to blitz him back as well. He's done. No, the Grave comes out just in time. They'll Astral him, and that'll avoid most of that Grave, and he'll actually maybe die. Yep, he goes down to the Astral delayed damage. Evo's going to get roared up, pops the Crimson Guard. He's in trouble getting hit from the front. Still alive somehow, but there's the Standard Eclipse. Gets the triple kill for Yawar. TC alive late to the fight, not like he's really needed, as they've gotten 3 already, and now they're going to go for the top 2 tower, perhaps.
Yeah, Battle Fury is on the way for him, so he'll be very happy with that. Sells his Iron Talon. Oh, buys another Quelling? Oh, I see, it's going to come.
Right.
Yeah, you can't turn your Iron Talon into a Battle Fury,
right.
But I think he looked at this game and said, oh, I'm losing my lane, I need an Iron Talon to jungle, that way I have a place to farm. And I was like, alright, we're winning the game, time to get a Battle Fury, that I can just guarantee this.
Isn't that nice? Just turn your early game disadvantage into a Battle Fury later on down the road. It's not like it's even that late at 19 minutes. Astral will come through, they'll find, I believe, well, it doesn't matter who they'll find, Static Storm will fly, and it's actually Mystico who's dead very quickly. Ewa walks in, gets Orchided up as well. He does have the backflow sprays, but now the Omni Slash comes out and boom, is he dead. Godlike for Yawar, they clip somebody back, Smash will TP, Misoku is in trouble, and there's the GG coming out. EWolves, they did great that first game, but DC, they raided in, and they forced this series to a 1-1 tie, and 1 point apiece with our first series of the day for American Qualifiers, Purge.
Yeah, they just didn't quite hit right in their first game, and EWolves had a great pick with the Morphling, and then after that, DC just, and they had great picks, they pull out the OD, and they did a little bit of roaming enchant, and it's going to be hard for another team to play against this kind of style due to the pressure that Enchantress put on, and the overall experience gain that they got due to having that jungler.
Yeah, that was impressive. I mean, it didn't even seem like AOI did that much, but in the end,